Head Music News with your host.
Good evening. Welcome to Record Head News. I'm Record Head, and tonight we've got a story that proves once and for all, just because you retire doesn't mean you slow down. In fact, sometimes it just means you've got more time to get into trouble. Tonight's feature. This is what happens when you take a Navy tech, a retired hermit, a Discord moderator, a club music producer, a part-time philosopher, and mix it all together with a questionable obsession for bunny girls. You don't get a normal artist, you get Dr. Nooo. A man who learned everything he knows from Zanzibar. Just ask Zanzibar. Now Dr. Nooo will tell you straight up. He's an old retired guy living in the country, full hermit mode. And not fake hermit either, real hermit. 3 months, left the house twice. Once for groceries, once for the doctor. That's it. Meanwhile, somehow, this man is more active online than a Chinese disinformation campaign. Moderating discords, lurking livestream chats, keeping order like some kind of digital lighthouse keeper. You don't see him, but he sees you. And if you act up and chat, boom, bonked by a retired Navy security officer who used to run security on a nuclear cruiser. Yeah, think about that next time you spam emojis. His background's actually wild. Started on trombone, hung around garage bands as a roadie, learned sound and lighting, then went from that to working on SAM missile systems in the Navy. So when he talks about balancing a mix, just remember, he used to balance systems designed to blow things out of the sky. Your hi-hats aren't intimidating him. After the Navy, he tried the whole band thing, but like he said, 4 or 5 people, someone always screws it up. So, he went solo. Learned to DAWs, started making music, badly at first, his words, not mine. Fast forward to now, and AI music became his window to the world. Literally. Because, again, he's not leaving the house. Style-wise, he's making EDM and rock metal that he imagines being played in clubs, which is kind of poetic. He's mentally in the club, physically, still at home in diapers. And his process. It's chaos, but controlled chaos. Starts with an idea, rough lyrics, then off to AI tools, DAWs, slicing audio, rebuilding tracks. Sometimes he switches tools because one's too stubborn, which is hilarious because you know damn well he's just arguing with AI like it's a person. Also confirmed, when the tools don't cooperate, there is a lot of swearing involved. So basically, same workflow as everyone else. The one Zanzibar taught us all. Now, here's where it gets deeper. His latest track, Ripples in the Dark, comes from his time in service dealing with serious situations, including sailors in crisis and the aftermath that follows. Heavy subject matter, real experiences, not surface-level storytelling. This is lived stuff. And you can tell that side of him is real, because then he flips straight into philosophy mode. Suicide doesn't stop the pain, it spreads it. That's not AI writing, that's life experience. Then, because balance must exist in the universe, his next project is Gentlemen Gone Wild, which is basically, alright ladies, your turn, here's some beefcake. So yeah, from existential reflection to thirst trap equality. And speaking of thirst, we need to address it properly now. Dr. Nooo has a thing for bunny girls. Not a casual haha meme thing. A dedicated creative direction level of thing. And look again, not judging. But when your artistic spectrum runs from deep reflections on mortality, stories about legacy and life, and then bunny girls. That's what we call range. Now, in completely unrelated, but somehow entirely expected news, Dr. Nooo and Dave reportedly linked up for a quick session, which, as always, is code for we'll just test one idea and then absolutely derail for the next several hours. What followed was peak stoner musician behavior. They started with a simple concept, tight track, clean structure, something usable. Within 20 minutes, they were 6 genres deep, arguing over whether a drop should hit harder if it never actually drops, and somehow designing a concept project involving bunny girls, existential philosophy, and what Dave kept calling performance-enhancing carrots. At one point, Dr. Nooo paused mid-session, not to fix the mix, but to go moderate a Discord argument, then came straight back and continued like nothing happened. Professional. By hour 3, they were fully convinced they had just created the greatest track ever made that may or may not have just been Dave laughing for 16 bars. But that's the thing. Sessions like that chaos, that messing around, that's where the real ideas come from. Even if 90% of it is completely unusable, Pratt and the other 10% somehow still involves bunny girls. Now, one of his most personal tracks, Shadow the Angel, was written after his last stroke about facing the end of life, reflecting on everything, and accepting whatever comes next. So yeah, this guy isn't just messing around, there's real depth under the chaos. But at the same time, he's not trying to be some polished industry figure. His best moment. Not streams, not numbers. It's that feeling of walking into a space, whether it was gigs back in the day or chat rooms now, and people are genuinely glad to see you. That's the thing he values, which explains why he's always around, keeping communities running, showing up, supporting people. Even the trolls, he's dealt with them. People try and say AI music isn't real music. Meanwhile, he knows theory, knows DAWs, can mix and master. He just uses tools that work better for him now. So, if you're coming at him sideways, just remember, you're arguing with a guy who's already done more in music and life than most people complaining. Also, quick highlight, his storytelling track, In That Old Jacket, about a guitarist channeling the legacy of players before her, which is basically his philosophy in disguise. You don't just create, you absorb, learn, and carry it forward. And then there's collabs. Shout out to Jailhouse Lock, where Dr. Nooo casually got asked for one track and responded with 12. That's not a collab, that's an avalanche. So yeah, Dr. Nooo. A hermit who never leaves the house, but somehow shows up everywhere. A retired Navy tech making club music from the countryside. A deep thinker with a bunny girl side quest permanently active. And Zanzibar's #1 student. And through all of it, still creating, still learning, still part of the community. And if AI disappeared tomorrow, he's already said it, he'd just go back to the DAW and keep going. No excuses, no stopping. Just maybe fewer bunny girls? Actually, no. Definitely still bunny girls. That's it for tonight, folks. I'm Recordhead, and this was Recordhead News. Are you resonant? Good night.
That was Recordhead Music News.